Today's guest is Tasha M. Fit. Tasha is a very successful online coach and personal trainer. And in this episode, we go through all the different limiting beliefs that people might have when it comes to developing the physique, developing the business, or just improving overall as an individual. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And just before we get started, stop right now, click the subscribe button on YouTube, click the follow button on Spotify, because I've got so many good episodes coming out with loads of guests who are going to help you level up yourself as a person. Now let's get into this episode. So, as a PT and online coach, what was the biggest struggle that you faced?
So, I think definitely being nervous to put myself out there. I think when I was younger, I was really shy. I think I always was like a people pleaser. And I did want to be like cool almost. And I think back in the day, like 5 years ago, fitness wasn't cool. It wasn't, it trendy to want to be in good shape. And I think doing something different, like outside of the norm, I faced like a lot of backlash, weirdly, when I was younger, like about, going from wanting to do medicine, going to uni and wanting to be a doctor, which is originally what I wanted to do. People kind of stuck their nose up a little bit, like, you're going to trade all that in and be a PT, like that's a dead end job, like almost as if that job wasn't relevant, like, because maybe at that time, PTs weren't going where PTs are now. It wasn't as kind of present in society as fitness is now. Like I was saying, fitness at the minute is massive, but at the time when I was starting, fitness was not massive. So I was taking a big risk, I think, to, like, say, put myself out there and be like, do you know what? I'm doing something that I'm not used to doing and that nobody was really doing at that time. It was a bit embarrassing almost, and there were things that I would post and I'd think, oh God, like, do people from school, like, will they laugh at that?
Yeah.
Will people laugh at me? Like, what if I fail and I have to get a normal job and then I've kind of got to, like, close my Instagram and pretend that never happened or anything like that? The work of it was never an issue for me. It was almost just like the fear of embarrassment, the fear of failure. But I think that almost kind of pushed me a little bit. So it's kind of like a catch-22. It kind of was a struggle, but I think that struggle almost kind of like ingrained in me to be like, do you know what? Prove everything wrong, prove everybody wrong, that this is a career that you can do. You can do a career that you enjoy. You don't have to do medicine and do what everybody else wants you to do.
Well, that'll go on to the next question, which was going to be, how would you overcome that experience? Like you said, it would just be using that sort of thought of embarrassment or sort of other people judging you to kind of inspire you to then want to go and do even better.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I think a lot of people put themselves in that box of sort of like, I don't want to put myself out there and I don't want to embarrass myself. And don't get me wrong, nobody wants to embarrass themselves. Being embarrassed is like my worst nightmare. But at the end of the day, you don't know whether something's embarrassing unless you face that embarrassment. Like, I have been embarrassed before doing things that have not gone my way, or, I'm sure loads of businesses or self-employed people have done where they are not that busy for a period of time, or they do post something and it doesn't go well, or, they think that they do post a bit of content and nobody likes it or nobody comments on it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a flop, like, or a fail, because each thing that you put out there and each time you put yourself out there or on the line, it's either going to be, like they say, like a blessing or a lesson. You're either going to thrive from that or you're going to learn something from that. Maybe I won't do it like that this time. Maybe next time I'll do it slightly differently. That can literally go from every single day. Each day is a lesson. Each day is something that you can take from it. What went well today? What actually did I do that put myself out there that was a success? And even if things are not necessarily a success, how can you then turn them into, like, future successes,
Yeah, and I think when you're in that situation where you're wanting to put out content, or if you're wanting to go into a job role where most people doubt if you'd actually be successful in it, you've got nothing to lose. And literally the phrase itself, you've got nothing to lose. So if you do post a piece of content and it doesn't do well and it does flop, it doesn't actually matter. If you had 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers on Instagram and you put something out and it was bad, a lot of people would probably give you backlash for it. But when you put something out and you're not even at the place you think you're going to get to yet, it doesn't necessarily matter. I think a lot of people can hold back from wanting to push themselves out there, but you're in a win-win situation. You're either going to be successful or you're going to find something that you enjoy, or it's not going to work and you're going to know, all right, okay, I'm going to go and do something else.
Yeah, I seen something on social media and it was like, people will say that you're an embarrassment until you're a success, and people want to know how you did it. And I think that that's really relevant, because you might think, oh, this is a bit embarrassing. This is a bit, cringe almost. But the people are going to think it's cringe when you're nothing, when nobody wants to buy your PT, when nobody wants to buy your coaching, when nobody takes you seriously, which you will probably go through a phase of that where people think, oh God, like, who do you think you are, or what are you doing, or this is never going to work, or you shouldn't be doing this, you should be doing this, until you do make something of it and people go, oh my God, you're smashing it, or like, how have you managed to do that, or how have you managed to do this? And quite literally the answer to how you manage to do a lot of things is, like you say, put yourself on the line and do something that you're not afraid of doing but other people are. Like, I think there's a lot of success that comes from risk taking, and every kind of risky move I've probably made in terms of decisions with my career have probably paid off, and they've been the ones that I've sat on the fence and gone, oh, should I do that, should I do that? Like with things like podcasts, I've thought, oh, I'm a bit nervous, but in the end it's ended up being a really, really positive experience for me, because you get to have a good conversation, put your opinion out there, and even if people don't like what I have to say, there might be 50% of people that really like what I have to say. And they'll be the people that'll be attracted to me and what I do. The other 50%, they're not relevant anyway. Like, the people that don't like you and your work, okay, that's fine. You were never going to be, in my vicinity anyway. So that's fine that you think that. I'm more focused on now the people that see me in a positive light, not always focusing on the people that do think it's embarrassing or do think it's cringe, because there will be people that think that, and that's okay. Because
I think you're going to get that in every industry anyway, no matter what you do. There's always going to be someone who's going to try and knock you down. And I think one of the things you touched on there is like the value that you're actually giving to the person. So for you to come on the podcast and have the positive experience, as long as it impacts one person, that's a massive win. Like, say there's 9 other people who think, oh, that's cringe or that's bad. It's like, those opinions don't matter. The reason you've come on is to inspire that one person. That was the reason I started this podcast, was because obviously the idea of putting stuff out there, can be quite embarrassing, or friends might think so and so, but it doesn't actually matter. If 2 or 3 people can listen to it, take some sort of good information from it, I feel like I've done my job, and that's the reason why I started this whole thing. Yeah.
Do you know what's really funny, actually? Like, my mum, and my mum won't actually mind me saying any of this, but she is the epitome of unfit. Like, she's really, really unfit. She's never been into the gym. She hates dieting. She hates everything. She's got this almost kind of mentality in her head of like, I'm old, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm outside of my time. It doesn't matter. There's no point at this point. And she's kind of always tried to lose weight as I've been growing up. And it's now got to the point where she's kind of like been like, you know what? I'm done. I can't be bothered. I'm too old. Right. So there might be certain podcasts or certain bits of content that I post that might get 1,000 views, thousands of views, thousands of likes, whatever, might only help 1 person, 2 people, but there might be a little bit of content that I post that might only get 100 views. But say, for example, the most recent podcast that I posted, my mum actually messaged me and she said, I listened to the whole thing, and this is the first time in a while that I've ever listened to something and thought, now I need to make a change. And that is crazy coming from my mum, because she's not said something like that ever.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you need to look within what you're doing and look within the value of what you're giving to the people that matter. I think social media is so present on impressing people that don't matter, because essentially what we're doing as coaches is we're speaking to the people that we want to help, and we want to be speaking to those people. And things like this that might get half the views as a video of me getting ready in my underwear and then going for a 10k run, but is that going to help anybody? Probably not. Is, telling everybody how I make pancakes going to help anyone? Like, probably not. Like, it's all good to have, that extra content, but like I say, it's the content that speaks to people, that talks to people, to be like, you know what, actually, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do something that I wasn't going to do yesterday before I watched that.
Yeah, it's the value that the actual thing holds. Even, like you said, with the followers or the views that you get from Reels, if someone's chasing it for a money perspective or trying to have some sort of financial gain, if you had 10 followers paying you $1,000 a month because the value that you put on your social media was amazing, and it was a private account, 10 followers, you'd be where you wanted to be. But if you're just trying to get followers, thinking that the more followers I get, the more chance I've got people who are going to sign up to my coaching business or my education company or whatever it might be, that's not how you should look at it. It should be value for the people that you're trying to sell to. I think, like you said, so many people can get caught up in trying to get loads of views, loads of followers, because it's a numbers game, and it's because that's the only thing that they can scale, because there's no sort of, you can't see the value of somebody on the other side of the phone thinking, right, I'm actually going to use that tip the next time I go in the gym. Because some people might watch a reel, say for yourself, who are wanting to get into the gym, not like it, not comment, not share it,
but they take
so
it
much value from it, and then go and use it in the gym but never tell you. And it's like, I think I've seen something, it was like 80% of people watch the videos you post, but they don't react. So they don't interact with what you're actually posting. And there's only about 20% that'll actually scroll past it. So like, you might get 1,000 views, 80% of them are actually watching the video. So if you can provide some sort of value, at least you know you're going to impact some people. Yeah,
I think that the problem sometimes with social media is things can be a bit blurred. And I think we were talking about this before we press record, but we were saying that the reality of everything is so blurred by social media, in the sense of, I think people almost get put off by how amazing things look. And it's almost like, if I was to get up every day and post how amazing I am and how into the gym I am and how everything's perfect all the time, that, to me, on the other end, if I was 5 years ago, kept seeing that, and that is the main issue, I think, with the way social media has gone in the last few years, is 5 years ago, if I saw that, I'd be like, there is no hope for me whatsoever. Like, there's just no hope. And I think it's really important to kind of put to perspective that, like I say, there is opportunity for everybody. There is that opportunity for everybody to make a difference. And like I say, somebody like my mum, who's in her 50s, has tried to get fit all her life, it might just take that one little step, that one little bit of information that speaks to that person, that makes them see it in a different light and think, actually, do you know what? That I can do this. Like, I can get fit, I can get healthy, I can do everything that I want to do. And I think a lot of people stopping themselves from doing things comes from the head and their limiting belief of, like I said, that it's impossible. I can never do this. That's almost like something that I'm grateful for. In 5 years ago, there wasn't as much influence to social media. Obviously it's a lot more easily accessible in terms of information. I probably would have been better off in the gym, not doing as much random stuff, but I was just kind of going with what I thought, going with what I wanted to do. And if people didn't like that, then that was okay, because that was what I was doing, and there was nobody else to give me my opinion. Whereas I think now, because of social media, people think, oh, does this make me look good? Does this make me sound good? Does this make me come across in a good way? Does this make me look embarrassing? Does this make me look stupid? Does this make me look like this? And you know what, if you just take all of that away and just be yourself, do what you want to do what makes you happy, and like I say, believe in what you can do, then you can literally do anything that you want. The only thing that is stopping you is that belief of, like, how do I look to other people? And people are spending their life these days trying to impress people, like we were saying, that don't literally matter. The opinion of people that you don't care about literally doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think with social media as well, it kills creativity, and it's just going to make you so anxious, because, like you just said, you hit the nail on the head. If you're opening up your phone and you're seeing the Chris Bumstead who's 2 weeks out from competing, and you're thinking, I don't look as good as him, or what exercises are he doing? When you go into the gym, you're always going to be following what someone else is doing on social media. Like you said, you might be too nervous to speak a certain way to some people. You might be too nervous to dress a certain way because you don't want to look bad in front of a certain group of friends. That's just going to kill your own creativity. That's going to kill your own sort of self-image of how you actually want to look. Like you said, if you take all that away and you block everything out and you only focus on what you actually want to do, that's what's going to make you the most happy as well. Not only are you going to feel a lot better for it in the long run, but you're going to have so much more self-respect that you're not just following other people's sort of image, because you can get like 2 years, 3 years down the line of just doing what other people want you to, and then you think, fuck, I'm not actually happy where I am.
That is so true. Like, self-respect, like, I love that. I love the way that kind of summarizes what it is. If you live your life and do the things that you want that make you happy, that is literally the utmost form of self-respect. And I think the gym plays into that massively in terms of looking after yourself. Because I say this all the time, the gym and health and fitness, it's the one thing that you literally do that no matter how much you show it off, how much you tell people how fit and strong and how good you look, you are the only one that is impacting. Yeah. In the end of the day, if I lost a stone, the only person that impacts is me. If I gained a stone, the only person that impacts is me. And, you know, trying to kind of fit other standards of what you think you should be, you are literally just, like I say, disrespecting yourself and putting yourself in a position where you're not getting the most out of yourself.
And then what you're doing holds no value, because if you're trying to lose a stone, say I'm trying to lose a stone now because I'm trying to impress somebody else at the gym. I'm the lad who's going in and there's a girl in there who fancies me, but they might appreciate me more if I was a stone lighter because their ex-fella was a stone lighter.
Yeah.
Like, then I'm trying to lose weight to fill somebody else's needs. So once I've lost that weight, if they don't then accept...
You never get the fulfillment from that,
Yeah, it's never like, I've actually done what I said I was going to do. I'm trying to do something to please somebody else.
Yeah, I think sometimes ego can come into play when it comes to stuff like that. In, like say, the kind of then becomes no end goal, because when you achieve things, and I think, to be honest, I have probably fallen into a trap of, like, in the past, wanting a lot for myself. And it's so weird because I was thinking about this before. When I was younger, all I wanted to wear was designer. And I'll be upfront about that. I wanted to wear designer. Why? To impress the people at school. If I was going on a school trip in a Canada Goose and a Gucci belt and designer trainers, does that make me look good? I thought it did, yeah, because people were like, oh my God, you know, you're rich, like your family are rich. My family were not rich. And I think in the back of my mind, I was almost trying to fake what I wasn't to impress people, to have the perception that I was rich, because I knew I didn't have any money or have a nice house or have, you know, I went to kind of like a middle class school, so I think a lot of the people that went to my school, their families had a lot of money, their families had nice cars. And I think in the back of my head, I thought, well, does this make me look good if I'm wearing a Canada Goose and I'm wearing designer trainers? And as you get older, like all this stuff that's in my wardrobe, I haven't touched it all in 5 years. And I look at it and I think, God, like, I literally bought all those things, not because I like them, not because I like the look of a Canada Goose or because I like the look of that YSL bag or because I like the look of those shoes. I literally purchased those things using my wage from a restaurant to impress other people. Yeah. Like, what a waste of my energy and a waste of my time to spend money on material things that literally, like say, in a year's time, 5 years' time especially, don't matter, because now I'm selling them all in Vinted for 10% of what I bought them for 5 years ago.
I was just going to plug Vinted then and say that is where you need to go.
Yeah, literally. And now I literally don't even buy new clothes. I just wear gym clothes all the time. And again, I'm not really bothered about where the gym clothes are from. Again, when I started the gym, I'd only wear Gymshark. Why?
Yeah.
Because it looks good, because it looks like I know what I'm doing, or it looks like I buy the nice gym stuff. Like it's such a kind of tainted perspective of doing things to make yourself perceive in a certain way. And I think, again, when you have more respect for yourself, as I've grown older and as I've understood that, do you know what, I am actually a good person that holds value, and I hold value to myself now when I didn't used to. Like, I don't need to show anybody that I have X, Y, Z. Like, I know what I have and I know what I don't have and I know where I want to be. Yeah. So I don't need to show anybody the kind of ins and outs of, you know, what I have to offer, because that speaks for itself. What I have to offer is me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
So what was the turning point like when you say you was about 5 years ago when you first started, where could you see that you was going to get to where you was going to get to now? What made you put the blinkers on and be like, right, I'm not going to do things to sort of please what other people would want from me, and I'm just going to focus on the straight and narrow for what I want?
Right. I do ramble, so this could be quite long. I didn't go to uni because I didn't have any money. So I decided to take a gap year to save as much money as I could so that I didn't, again, have to struggle while I was in uni, because the thought of kind of struggling again while I'm trying to, you know, build my career and study and stuff, I was just getting really stressed out about it. So I was like, I'm going to take a gap year, earn some money, and then I'll go next year. And that year was probably one of the most depressing years of my entire life. I was working in an office, and although the people were great, the job wasn't that hard. It it made me really realise that slowly in that year, I became somebody that I didn't even recognise. I was gaining weight like there was no tomorrow. My eating habits were absolutely disgusting. I used to have a share box of Krispy Kremes every week. There would be a Krispy Kreme underneath my desk every single week, and I'd go through them on my own. Genuinely, it baffles my head to think that I could even do that. And I just gained more and more weight. I became more and more lazy, you know, and I wasn't getting any fulfillment from life, any fulfillment from anything. I was going out 2-3 times a weekend, but I never felt happy. And again, I had no money, but yet I was still buying designer things, scraping to get by. I'd have no money at the end of the month. So I'm like, I'm on a gap year and I'm actually wasting all of my time doing things that don't bring me any happiness. Like, I'm working to get me to the next stage, to learn to do another job that I'm going to then go to, and I'm then still not going to enjoy. So all this time I'm essentially wasting. And I was literally just, you know, kind of sat at my desk in lockdown, and I was like, this is not me. This is not me. I could feel myself getting more and more depressed. I was even living with my best friend at the time. You'd think that would literally be the time of my life. I'm 19 years old living with my best friend. We're working from home. It's lockdown. And I couldn't even bear to like get up in the morning. So I was like, this is so depressing. And from then, an advert came up for a PT course. I already knew I liked fitness because I'd been kind of getting into it beforehand. And I was like, right, well, I've got nothing to lose. I didn't pay for the course, and I just kind of went for it. And then I'd finished my course. I'd moved back home, out from my best friend's house, and I'd kind of moved in on my own, like with my mum, and we lost the house. Literally, the house got pulled out from underneath our feet. I was running around like a headless chicken, trying to get another house, which in lockdown, if anybody kind of was in the rental market at that time, it was crazy. Like, you couldn't get anything. You couldn't even get anything for double what it was worth. They were just going like no tomorrow. And I managed to get a house last minute. And in my head, I think that just kind of symbolised for me, this is the start of a new life for me. Like, I've been given like a second chance almost. Like, you know, this is your chance. It was a house away from my area where I grew up, away from all my school friends, away from all my college friends, a completely different area, completely different life. It was like, right, you are ready for a new chapter now. So I literally changed completely what I was doing. I started PTing outside, PTing in the park. And then that's when I started doing the online live workouts. And at that time, I ended up losing my job, which at the time I thought was the worst thing that could have happened to me in the world because I had no money coming in. But that is the best thing that ever happened to me because it put me in a position where, like we were talking about before, I had to push myself out of my comfort zone. I was like, what do I have that I can use to survive? And it was fitness. That was the only thing I had left. I'd done my PT course. I had no job and I'd just got a new house in lockdown. I knew I couldn't afford to lose it because, again, I'd literally be homeless. I was like, I will make this work. And I will do whatever it takes to make this work. So obviously I had to literally just graft for the whole of the rest of the lockdown, doing the online live workouts, not buying anything, not spending any money, not doing anything, the things that I was trying to do beforehand to bring me happiness. The only thing that I could do was work towards my goal, which was to earn enough money to be able to pay my rent. And I realised that for the first time since I'd been an adult, essentially, like I was only still like 19 at this time, I was like, I actually have fulfillment. Like, I loved, you know, building the business up, you know, getting the new subscribers, getting those new people joining. And at the time, I wasn't earning anything. Like, it was like a £20 a month subscription. But that to me was gold dust. That £20 membership, to have that one person under like my team, it just brought me so much fulfillment because I thought, do you know what? I'm part of something bigger now. I'm not just sat in my best friend's kitchen working from home, wanting to cry every minute of every day because I'm like, this is the worst day ever. And I think that is the biggest turning point, is knowing what brings you peace and fulfillment in life. And that can be anything, literally anything. It's just at that time, fitness really, really like obviously brought me that kind of peace in my life and made me realise that that was what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go to uni anymore. I didn't want a job where I was, you know, doing X, Y, Z. That was my thing. That was what brought me fulfillment. And I knew that that was the path for me at that point.
Yeah.
And nothing else mattered after that. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just that. Just me and my fitness and my little business, my little team that I had. That was all that mattered. Nothing else.
Yeah, and obviously going back to the point of like, you come down to a point there where you had nothing to lose, so you may as well put it all on the line.
I think that's actually the funniest thing. If people saw things like that more, you have nothing to lose. What do you actually have to lose to put yourself out there? Do you know what? I was embarrassed to do the live workouts. I wanted to do them earlier than that, but I was too embarrassed because I was nervous about what if nobody subscribes, and it's really awkward when I have to go live and there's no one there and I'm speaking to no one. But I was like, you know what? Your choices are do the live workout, and worst case scenario, no one joins and it fails, and you know you'll just have to try and find another job. Or best case scenario, you know, 3 people join, then hopefully they might enjoy it and they'll recommend people. And obviously that risk paid off, because that ended up literally being the start of what my fitness career was. I got loads of transformations from that. I ended up going into the gym when the gyms reopened. I'd already got loads of social proof of I can do a good job at this. So that put me in a really good starting position, going onto the gym floor being like, do you know what? I am a brand new PT, but look, this is the work that I can do that I have been doing in lockdown. So while you were getting unfit in lockdown, eating everything, this is what me and my team were doing. Yeah. Do you want a bit of this? Do you want to get better?
Yeah.
Great, there you go.
Yeah. So when you was in that situation where you was doing the lives in lockdown, or you felt like you had to just go all in on the fitness, did you doubt yourself?
Yes, because at the time, this again is more of a limiting belief. Because I knew how much I'd let myself go, I felt like a fraud. When I first signed up to the PT course, I think I hadn't gained that much weight, but it did spiral and it ended up getting really bad. Me and my ex-boyfriend at the time were in a really bad car crash, and that put me out for a long time. And I just, after that, I felt really, really like defeated and like felt sorry for myself, to be honest. I made every excuse under the book. Oh, you know, like I'm not ready to go back to the gym yet. I'm not ready to go back to the gym yet. And I think I almost just got comfortable with being lazy and just sitting doing nothing.
That's a lot easier.
And yeah, it's easier to feel sorry for yourself and to make every excuse under the book. Don't get me wrong, I could still sit here and make a million excuses as to why I can't achieve my goals. But at that time, I did for too long, and I felt like a fraud almost, because I was like, I'm gonna stand in front of all these girls and tell them how they're gonna exercise every day when I know for the past 6 months to a year I've done nothing.
Yeah. Like
I have literally let myself go. But I was like, at this point again, you're doing this for you as much as them, and you're doing this with them, and you're all on the journey together. And it's so funny now, because like when I look back at the videos of the lives, you can literally see me like slowly like coming back, slowly losing weight. Like if you scroll like up to the newer ones, like you can just see me getting so much fitter, so much healthier. And it's such like a nice, rewarding thing to look back at now, because I think in the first live you can tell how much I did doubt myself and how much I thought, this is never going to fucking work. Like, this is just stupid. I was almost like, what are you doing? Like, this is not going to work. And
was there a lot of struggles along the way?
Yeah. I think, to be honest, like I said, relationships play a massive part in a lot of people's either excuse or success. Yeah. And again, I don't mind saying this, but the relationship I was in at that time wasn't good. Like, I think that put me off doing a lot of the things that I wanted to do, because I almost felt kind of like, again, I was stuck in that box. I would almost like kind of feel bad for working on myself, feel bad for putting myself out there, because I didn't feel like I could put my all into the relationship. And for the first time since I was like 17, 18, I was like full send to what I wanted to do, which was this career. Like I said, this was the only thing that brought me fulfillment, to be completely honest. And when I was PTing, like I'd been through loads of stuff, like obviously like breakups. Bad breakups are like the worst. Like everyone's been through a bad breakup, and they know like it can sometimes either make or break you. But I think using the struggles that I've had along the way to, like you say, kick me forward, like any time that I kind of had a downer or a dampener, or I went through a bad breakup, or, you know, I had family problems, or something bad happened in the business, or something, you know, didn't go well, or a client left, it's so easy to feel sorry for yourself, and it really is. But I think I've almost tried to remember that every time something's gone bad, like losing my job, something amazing has come out of that, and that's really pushed me forward to do more on the back of failure. Like, every failure can be turned into a success if you want it to. It's just, again, trying not to feel sorry for yourself and trying not to make the excuses, because everyone can make excuses, even me. I've been in the fitness industry for years now, and I could still sit here and tell you 10 excuses as to why I shouldn't be in good shape. But it's how you let that affect you. And
I think failures are so important, because if you're not having any form of negative feedback and you're just continuously growing, when you do get to the top, you're not going to know what to do if something bad happens.
It's almost like getting too big for your boots. Like, nobody should be in a position where they're too big for the boots. Nobody's perfect. Even, you know, I need to remember that the top dogs in the industry that I look up to, they'll still have clients leave. They'll still have shit times. They'll still have decisions that they'll make where it wasn't a good decision for the business, or a good decision for them, or a good decision for their client. And I think that's a massive thing in this industry, is a lot of it's decision making. A lot of it can come down to second guessing yourself and failing. You know, you might have a client leave that doesn't make any progress, but you know what? That is okay, because you can probably look at it and think, what went wrong there? Why did they not make progress? What did they let get in the way? And what did I, you know, maybe do to try and help them? Okay, maybe next time I get a client like that, or if they do come back in the future, what would I do differently? Would I change my approach? And a lot of my clients have said, that have been with me for a long time, how much I change in terms of the way I approach clients, in terms of the way that I manage clients, in terms of the way that I do check-ins, or the way that I give feedback, or the service that I offer as a whole. Being able to think, do you know what? This isn't working. Let's change that. And I think people get very comfortable in their own shoes, again, in their own situations, and just being like, do you know what? It's okay. You know, I'm making decent money. I've got a successful business. I've got a steady amount of clients. I could be okay. But I think, again, that's when you get to the point where you start making excuses for yourself, and that is when complacency comes in. And complacency is essentially where dreams and success goes to die, essentially.
And when those failures happen, and when it starts to get difficult, like, that's a sign you're going in the right direction.
Oh, a million
like you just
percent.
said,
the more people that are giving you stuff the more people that are giving you reasons to quit, then you're doing it right. Because that means that you're taking risks and doing things that might not pay off, doing things where you might lose a load of money, or doing things where you might look stupid.
Yeah, 100%. Like the coach who, say, like saying who you look up to, who's earning that a little bit more than you, or is more successful, or if you're an artist, a songwriter, or whatever it might be, trying to give some sort of example, and you're looking at someone who's doing better than you, the struggles and the failures that you're experiencing right now, they will have experienced. That's why they're in that position. It's how you can, like you said, work around them and problem solve and think, right, what can I do to get past this issue and keep moving forwards? It's almost like each failure should be a checkpoint that you're heading in the right direction.
It's like a wall. You can literally go head first into the wall, or you can actually take a step back from the wall and think, do you know what? There's a ladder over there. I'm going to go and grab that ladder and just climb over it. But if you just keep bashing your head against the wall, like say burying your head in the sand and feeling sorry for yourself, you are never going to step back and think, oh, there's the ladder. You'll never see the ladder, because you're just literally bashing your head against the wall. Like I say, but sometimes what's over the wall could be a million times better, but you don't know that if you don't actually at least try. And again, it might take you a year to get over this wall, but if the rewards over the end of the wall are worth a year's worth of graft, then do you know what? Like, I will do anything to get over that and overcome that. And I think that's definitely what I think's made the difference for, and I mean, not to, you know, blow my own trumpet or whatever, but how quick I've managed to build it to what it currently is in terms of in the fitness industry, because I think that first year is detrimental. Like, that first year will make or break any career, especially a self-employed career, because in that first year, every decision that you make, every kind of failure that you encounter, if you can't come over that, then you are not destined for a long-term business, because you will have many failures in the business. But if you are willing to throw in the towel on your dream that you apparently would give everything for, then you're not prepared to get there. Same with anything, same with weight loss. If you tell me you would give your left arm to look and feel how you want to feel, but yet the second that something gets a little bit hard, you think, I'll never get there. You will never get there. You literally will. If you don't believe in yourself and actually think, do you know what, I can do this and I want to do this, I have the desire to be where I want to be and it's enough to push me over that wall, then you will just, again, go to complacency and just stay exactly where you are again and again and again and again. And for some people, that is fine. That is absolutely fine. But if you want to be better and you want to have more for yourself and more for your life and more for how you feel, because, you know, success is more than, you know, finances, like I've obviously spoke about. The finances is not what matters for me. It's the fulfillment that I get from progressing as a business, progressing as a coach, progressing to being able to help more clients, progressing to help the clients that, you know, never thought that they could do a photo shoot, or never thought that they could do high rocks, or never thought that they could compete, or never thought that they could put themselves out there to do things that are challenging. They're doing them and they're getting their fulfillment, which is then in turn giving me my fulfillment.
And what piece of advice would you give for someone to try and figure out what it is they actually want to do?
You know, I always say this, like, everybody has their piece, like what brings them peace. But I think a lot of people, again, just end up falling into things. And a lot of it's trial and error. I think I always kind of knew I was in like the sport background. So I think that kind of ended up being an easy kind of fall into for me. I always got enjoyment and fulfillment from sport. Some people, I say, get fulfillment from doing hair or, you know, making clothes. I have no idea about clothes. Like for me, to have a clothing business or a clothing brand, that would make no sense because I have no idea about clothes. I don't care about them. I don't know what looks good. I don't care. It's about what makes you feel the happiest. You need to know how you feel and what you're doing when you feel the happiest. Like, are you knitting? You know, are you doing crochet? Are you running? Are you doing high rocks training? Are you, you know, doing hair, doing nails, doing makeup? Like, what are the things that you're looking on social media for? What are the things that you're talking to your friends and family about? What are the things that you kind of find yourself thinking about when you're daydreaming? Do you know, like sometimes I'll be daydreaming, I'll be like, oh, I wonder what's on my session tomorrow. I know I'm in the right direction because literally what I live and breathe is this job. And that's not because I need to make money. It's not because it's a successful job. It's because from day one, it's brought me peace and it's brought me fulfillment, and it literally saved my life, essentially. Like fitness as a whole saved my life. Even if I never made a live workout after that and I was never a PT after that, that period of my life literally saved me. Like I say, I know that this industry brings me peace, brings me fulfillment, brings me happiness. I think it's a hard thing for people to understand. I think when you're young, especially, it's hard to get lost in all the different avenues, all the different courses. But let's say try things. Yeah. Try new things. Like say, think about the things that you're looking at social media that other people are doing, and you know when you look at something and you think that looks cool, that looks fun. Rock climbing, oh, that looks really cool. I'll go and try that next week. Skiing, oh, that looks really good. You know, there's loads of people that I know that have done like ski seasons and things like that, or, you know, gone and worked abroad and done, you know, a season abroad doing holiday repping. Like, if you look at that, a person doing that and think that looks cool, what is stopping you from doing that? What is literally stopping you? If I looked at somebody and thought, oh, they look like they have a nice life and they live in Australia or Dubai, okay, I might try that. If it doesn't work, that's okay. I'll move back to England and I'll do something else. Yeah,
it's having the mentality that you're going to stick to your core morals and values that you believe you are as a person, but going down a path where you'll knock at every door of something that you do want to try, and if you end up coming back out of it, you just get back onto the path.
Yeah, I've tried so many different hobbies when I was younger. I've done like martial arts, horse riding, like athletics. Like I even did a full like semi-professional athletics career, and it wasn't for me. I didn't find fulfillment in it in the end. But again, it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me because, you know, although I was good at it and it was something that I always did, I didn't enjoy it. And I wasn't ashamed to be like, do you know what? This isn't for me anymore. I've got clients that used to be, you know, national swimmers that, again, they'll be like, do you know what, I'm not enjoying that anymore, and they're now doing CrossFit, high rocks, and they found their new thing. But they wouldn't have ever found that if they didn't actually turn around and be like, do you know what I'm doing right now, I'm not enjoying. How about I try a few different things and see what I do enjoy? You know, dancing, boxing, there's loads of different things, and that comes even outside of the fitness realm, like I said, about hair, beauty, nails, business, property, all these things. There's so many different avenues these days. It's never been easier to work for yourself and do your own thing, have hobbies, and learn about hobbies like TikTok, Instagram. Like if I wanted to go into the property development like market, I can literally sign up to an online course and learn how to do it in a few weeks.
That was going to be the next question for someone who is trying to go down some sort of career in regards to what they enjoy. How important would education be from your own experience?
I think it's so funny actually, because somebody actually DM'd me the other day and was like, can you recommend any books to help me like develop in my career? And it's about educating yourself in the right areas. I think people focus on the stuff that doesn't matter. In this job, I am quite well educated. I'm not like ashamed to say that. I have put a lot of time, because obviously I'm a lockdown PT. I read books all lockdown. I did so many courses in lockdown, nutrition ones, anatomy ones, physiology ones, anything, coaching ones, programming ones, CrossFit ones. I've done so many. And if I'm being completely honest, the knowledge that I use out of all of that is probably like 20%.
Yeah.
The real knowledge that I have is from experience. And again, I have been in every shit situation. I've been in every phase of body transformation. At one point I wanted to be a bodybuilder. Then I've gained loads of weight, and I've been the person that's been overweight and unhealthy. I'm in a photo shoot prep at the minute, which is something that I've never done again. I was scared to do that. I'm doing that. I've done CrossFit, I've done high rocks, I've done running, I've done all these things, and I've been shit at all of them. I have been bad at everything that I've ever done. But the point is you have to be bad to be able to move forward. And a lot of the education comes from knowing like how to kind of teach yourself certain things and teach yourself self-discipline. Obviously education will come into it massively, but in the right way. Like if you can't coach somebody through a back squat, why are you telling me what muscle is being activated through every single motion of a back squat? If somebody can't literally perform a back squat and you can't show them how to do that, then that is the base level.
Yeah.
You know, it's like trying to run before you can walk. It's the basic level knowledge and being able to build that up. Now, obviously, when you get to a point where you kind of max out, as we call it, you kind of got enough clients, you know, everyone's moving in the right direction, but you're at kind of like a stagnancy, then I would definitely recommend investing in further education, coaching. Like I say, you'll save yourself a lot of time trying to learn everything yourself. Like I did in lockdown, I literally spent months and months and months reading books. Investing in help, again, there's never been an easier time to be able to do that. Investing in coaches, investing in education, but make sure that you've got them basics nailed down as a coach. And even if you just as an average gym goer, can you find the kind of, like say, the desire to want to do it?
Yeah.
Because you can educate yourself as much as you want, but if you can't be asked to coach people, or you can't be asked to go to the gym, and you really just, at the end of the day, don't want to do it, you don't want to put in the work, you can know everything. Does that make sense?
No, it does. Yeah, education's like almost the buy-in to be successful. You won't become successful if you've not educated yourself on the thing that you're trying to be successful at.
Yeah, there's no point knowing everything. It's like when they say people are like busy fools. I've said this example before. You can know everything, but actually know nothing.
Yeah.
Like, again, if you know the anatomy and physiology, or you know the kind of aerobic capacities, or you know VO2 maxes, all that stuff is really great. But if that's not what you need to know, then it's pointless. Does that make sense?
The jack of all trades and the master of none.
That's exactly the thing. Am I going to be educating myself on the shot put? No. I'm educating myself on how to make young girls feel and look amazing and be able to get into fitness and succeed. I'm educating myself on how to run a business successfully, how to not basically out-profit myself and end up going bust, and how to market myself properly, and how to make content that speaks to people and is obviously going to get me clients and present me in the way that I want to be presented. They're the things that I'm educating myself in. How to be a good coach, how to market myself well, and how to run a decent business. I'm not educating myself in how to do property development, because that's not what I'm doing.
And it'd just be so much time wasted.
Yeah. You know, at the minute, I don't want to get into trading. I'm not going to educate myself in trading.
Yeah.
I'm not going to educate myself in all these random things that literally mean nothing. It's about, again, knowing what matters in terms of progressing yourself further. And like I say, people will look for the best diet plan, the best nutrition plan. They'll ask me what my split is. They'll ask me how I work out. When you can't even get yourself in the gym yet. Why are you asking me what I'm eating and what I'm doing when you can't even stop eating Domino's 5 times a week? Does that make sense? It's almost like
not even
trying.
bought the gym membership.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's almost like you're trying to, like, I hate using this phrase, but it's like, people call it like mental masturbation, and social media is massive when it comes to things like this, because you can have this ideology in your head that I need to know X, Y, Z, when the reality is you just need to give it a go. You just need to put yourself out there. And don't get me wrong, like I say, having a coach and, you know, investing in education and investing in knowing what the right things are to do will come, but you're trying to run before you can walk.
Yeah.
You should be asking me, how can I stop eating Domino's 5 times a week? Not, how do I work out what workout split I should be doing across a 7-day workout, and should I be doing running 3 times a week, one zone 2? No, you should just be doing something.
You should start.
At this point, you should just be starting. And then as you progress, you can then work on that. And obviously, like I say, working with the coach and working with people that are going to help you is going to help you. But you need to learn how to help yourself first and how to walk before you can run.
Yeah.
There's no point me getting a business mentor when I didn't even know how to PT someone. What am I learning about? How to manage 0 clients?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Doesn't even make sense. Do you know what I mean? I think it's crazy, like the way that the industry's kind of gone in that direction as well. Is a lot of it's gone about sales and marketing. Why are you charging somebody £1,000 a month to tell them how to market themselves when they can't retain clients? Like, they literally can't retain clients.
Yeah.
That should be the thing that you should be focusing on first, and investing in education on how to retain clients. And then once you've got that nailed, then you can get a marketing mentor. Then you can get a scaling mentor. Then you can get, you know, a wealth mentor, or all these kind of extra fluffy bits. But you need to start from the bottom.
I think it's funny that with the mentor thing as well, because if you're going to someone and paying your money for them to tell you how to sell, how many other people are going to be selling like you as well? You don't stand out.
Yeah, I think that this is like one of the kind of iffy ones as well, with, like I said, about how the industry's kind of gone in that mentorship sense, is there's a lot of shit advice out there as well.
And a lot of people are just trying to make money.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. And I think that's the thing, is you have to be very smart in terms of how you're investing your money and how you're investing your time and how you're educating yourself. This is what I'm saying. So it's like, if I'm a brand new PT, I can get very washed up in the idea of, you know, this person's promising me that I can make £20,000 a month from them teaching me how to make sales. That sounds brilliant. And you might make 20 sales in your first month and you think, oh my God, this is incredible. This business mentor, this is the best thing that I've ever done. Them 20 clients might drop off within a week because they're like, this is so bad. Because you actually haven't managed to prepare yourself in the right way, and you haven't managed to give yourself the backing that you need to be able to sustain the business. Making sales and making business, you know, that's all well and good, but it's about keeping the business. Same thing with the gym. You can lose 10 stone, but if you do it by fat loss injections, starving yourself, liquid diets, you're more than likely probably going to put that 10 stone back on, and maybe with excess.
You're kind of just fast tracking and throwing yourself in the deep end, and that's why it never works with any industry, fitness, professional sport, whatever it might be.
Yeah, there's no shortcut.
You don't see
There's
like a
no
boxing
shortcut.
promoter just throw someone in for a heavyweight fight straight away. They build them up slowly, they market them, so they get these warm-up fights or easier fights, so to speak. So then when they actually fight for the belt, it's like, I've got so much experience fighting in front of 10,000 people, then 20,000, 30,000. They don't just go, yeah, mate, we're just going to throw you straight in, fight against the best in the world, and then you can go for it. And if you just get 20 clients dumped on you, it's like, how do I manage all these clients?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I think it almost, like we were talking about before about the struggles, like say the struggles help. They help. Because every time I've had a client, the red fall off, and I managed to get it back on and fix it, I'm like, oh, I know how to do that now. I know how to fix that problem. Buzzing. Next time it comes along, I'm like, sorted. Boom. problem fixed straight away because I've already done it. Yeah. I've already fixed that problem. Whereas again, you say, if you lose all that weight or gain all that business or get all this success very quick, but don't know how to manage it or sustain it, then you will end up like humbling yourself extremely quickly, because that can all be pulled from under your feet very, very quick.
And you're only going to get to that point, going back to what we mentioned in like halfway through this podcast, once you've had the failures. So like you said that if a client drops off, you're straight away looking for that ladder to get over the brick wall.
Yeah.
You don't if you just get those clients dumped on your lap, because you don't have that experience of actually failing.
Yeah, a lot of it's
just
like
taking it away.
Yeah, preparation as well, I think. Looking at where you, again, what I was saying before, the education is important, but it's about knowing where to be investing, where to be preparing, where to be educating yourself. Like I'm saying, educating yourself in the wrong areas will only get you so far. Like I'm saying, if you're kind of at wit's end in terms of, I keep failing on this particular thing, but I'm going to keep asking that girl what her workout split is. You keep failing by binging every single week. This is the issue. Pinpoint your issue first. Pinpoint the crack that you have in yourself or in your business or in your journey. Pinpoint that, and then you know where you're supposed to be educating yourself. I think it's very easy for people to, like I say, just get caught up in the bigger picture of things and, what the whole picture looks like. And, a really successful business with loads of clients, or a really, really, successful gym journey with really good progress. And like, people underestimate that comes with all the steps before that. My physique, how it is now, comes from 7 years of building it up, getting fat, losing weight, being a bodybuilder, being a CrossFitter, doing all these things. It's all part of that journey. And say that first time I ever lost weight, I did gain it all back, but I've managed to pick myself up and do it again, but 10 times better. That second time that I lost weight was bulletproof in comparison. I've lost myself a million times. I've broke the business a million times. Things have gone bad. Things have fucked up. But how can you kind of like say identify where the cracks are?
Yeah.
I notice where the cracks are. Okay. If I've lost 5 clients this month, where are the cracks? Oh, do you know what? I've been really burnt out this month. I've probably taken on a bit too many clients. Okay, I'm going to pull back next month. I'm going to work on more group coaching things next month so that I can still prepare the business for success without making the same mistake again.
Yeah.
Whereas if you keep losing 5 clients, gaining 5 clients, losing 5 clients, gaining 5 clients, you never actually, like say, zoning in on that crack and being like, what is going wrong? Okay, am I burnt out? Am I tired? Am I doing things wrong? Is my style wrong? Is my check-ins not as efficient as they could be? Is, the way that I'm doing admin or the way that I'm doing program, is it time efficient? Am I wasting too much time? Am I wasting too much energy? Am I doing the wrong things? What is going wrong? And I think looking at that from a face value and being like, where is shit? Essentially, what is shit right now? Okay, how can I make it less shit? Whereas some people won't want to do that, because some people are just happy to just be like, things are fine, can't be arsed. I'll just keep plodding along.
And it's hard to obviously sit there and think to yourself, what am I actually bad at? Because the ego comes into it, and you don't actually want to accept the fact that you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, people will always, you'll come across people like this all the time that think that they're literally like the best person on the planet, and they think that they know everything. And I think that for me would be the biggest red flag for me. If I thought that I knew everything, then that's where I failed. That is where things will definitely go tits up, because I think that, again, one of the reasons why I've managed to kind of exponentially grow and keep growing is because I'm constantly trying to be better, whether that is in myself. And again, I've lost myself a million times. There has been times where life gets in the way. You go through bad breakups, you go through family stress, you go through financial stress, things happen with your family, things happen with life. And, you have a bump in the road, but as long as, again, you can learn from that and think, what did I do wrong there? Where did it all go wrong? And how can I make sure that doesn't happen again, so that this time next year, I'm 10 times better. Then the year after that, I'm even better. I'm even better. I'm even better. From year on year on year. Nothing's going to be completely up. It's going to go like that. Yeah. But as long as you are across the board going in the right direction, you're not just, I know everything. I'm just going to sit here for a while. Yeah. Like, that is never going to work, because that turns into that.
And going off the back of that, what is the next step for yourself?
This is actually a really awkward question now, because I actually don't know. Like, I actually don't know. I thought I really knew what I wanted to do now, but I think, again, I've just found so much fulfillment in growing the business for what it is and kind of just enjoying the process a bit more. I think in the past, you know, there has been kind of goals that I've set, you know, 20 clients, 50 clients, 60 clients, 70 clients, 80 clients, whatever that is. Or, you know, I want to hit 50 sessions a week. I want to hit 60 sessions a week. I want to hit, you know, 70 sessions a week. And then realize, you know, whatever, that's not what I want anymore. Changed it, changed my goal. I want to buy this car. Okay, great. I got that car now. Now what? I want to buy a house. Oh, I want to own this business. I want to do this with the business. And then it's almost like for the last few years, I have just done the next thing. Mm-hmm. And I think at the moment, it's weird, but I'm almost not working for the next thing. I'm almost just growing the business to just be what it is and just be the best at what it is.
Yeah.
And again, I've just found so much more fulfillment in that than constantly chasing a new house, you know, a new business, getting my own gym, getting a new business, getting new staff, getting new this, getting new that. Like, at this moment in time, I'm finding so much fulfillment in just making the business as positive and successful as it can be, to the point where I'm the happiest that I can be and I'm the least stressed. And like, it has made a massive difference because I am so much less stressed, so much more just enjoying what I've built, almost like kind of taking a step back and being like, do you know what, the last 4 years have been really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people will look at this kind of industry and be like, that is the easiest job in the world. But it's not. It really isn't. Like, it's really, really, really hard to be good at this job. If you want it enough, you can always do it, but you have to really, really give a lot and give yourself to the job. And when you're getting that gratification from achieving things, you know, it's really great. But getting gratification from just your day-to-day life, being able to sit at home and like relax and take weekends off and, you know, step away from like that kind of like graft culture and just like be more me and what I want. And like that's why I've kind of done the photo shoot prep, because I think for the longest time I've made excuses as to like, oh well, I'm really busy with my business, so it's okay if I look a little bit shit because I'm, you know, really busy in my business. But like, I'm actually prioritizing myself and being like, no, I want to do a photo shoot. I want to look the best I can look and feel the best I can feel now. I spend all my life making everyone else feel good. Like, I want to do that. After the photo shoot prep, I have no idea. I've got loads of different ideas. It's like, one day I want to like move to Spain. One day I want to move to Dubai. One day I want my own gym. One day I want to grow online, go fully online. Then I'm just like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I think I'm just taking things as they are.
But then again, like you said at the start, you can just go and at least you can try all these different things and see what works for you.
Yeah, like I'm just going to go with how I feel at the time. I've realised that I make my best decisions just going for it, not thinking too much into it. Oh, do I want to move to Dubai? If I'm thinking about it too much, I probably don't want to do it. If I want to do it in the moment, I will just do it and just go for it. If I think of a decision, think of a business move, think of something that I want to add or want to take away or want to change, I'm just kind of going with it. If I'm not sure, I'm kind of just being like, right, I'm not sure. That's fine. And it's okay to be not sure for a little while. I think for the last 4 years, I've been very, very sure on the next thing, that now it's like, just leave it for a while.
And for anyone who would want to get in touch with yourself, where would they go?
Mainly Instagram. I love a bit of Instagram. We were talking before, I'm not really a TikTok girl. I'm trying to get into it a little bit, but I'm just not really thriving on there. So Instagram is Tasha Fit. I put some good stuff on there. You know, sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not, but as long as it speaks to the right people, then
that's all that matters.
And that's all that matters. And I'm always kind of open to DMs about questions. Like I say, people DM me about business, people DM me about PTing, about weight loss, about anything that you're struggling with, just for a little bit of advice. But I'm really open on there about ups and downs. You know, we all have the same struggles. So
yeah, amazing. Well, same with this podcast. If you've not already, please follow on Spotify, please subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for having me.